So I can take LCM over here. That is RD1 can be common for this entire fraction. So that will become RD1 multiplied by 1. That is RD1 plus GM1 RSig RD1 plus RSig whole divided by RD1. So that whole divided by RD1 will be cancelling from both the sides. After that, you can find the ratio between Vx and Ix. So Vx by Ix is equal to RD1 plus, and what is common from second term and third term? It is R sig, right? R sig is common, right? So that will become 1 plus, if you take R sig outside, that will become 1 plus GM1 RD1. So this is the equation of the equivalent resistance RGD1 that you have obtained after looking through the capacitance CGD1. So I will take it as equation number B. Equation number A is nothing but RGS1. So till now we have derived the equivalent resistance across CGS1 and CGD1, right? CGS1 and CGD1. Now let us check the other two capacitances now. If possible, we can take two capacitance together, but how? If possible, we are taking two capacitance together, but how? Provided the two capacitance are parallel to each other across the same terminal. See whether CGS2 and CDB1 are parallel or not. Tell me whether they are parallel or not. CDB1 and CGS2. They are sharing common terminal, right? If you see this end, it is connected to source. This end is connected to D1, but D1 is same as S2, isn't it? Drain is connected to the source of Q2. That means CGS2 and CDB1 are sharing their terminals. And if you see the other end is grounded, which is common. So we can say that CDB1 and CGS2 are parallel to each other. Clear? Now, what will be the equivalent capacitance of these two capacitors? If two capacitors are parallel means what will be the equivalent capacitance? What is the equation? Yes. If two capacitors are parallel means what is the equivalent capacitance equation? C1 and C2 are parallel means what is the equation for C equivalent? Yes, it is C1 plus C2. So here CGS2 plus CDB1. It is capacitor, not resistor. If resistor are connected in parallel means it is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. These are capacitors connected in parallel. So we can write CGS2 and CDB1 are parallel. Therefore, the total parallel capacitance is CDB1 plus CGS2. Right? Now, if you see this CDB1, if you take the CDB1, what is the resistance that you are getting after looking through the capacitance? I have already assumed that there is a resistance RD1, correct? No, this is your RD1. This is RD1. Across D1 and ground, across D1 and ground, what we are having? We are having CDB1. Please draw this figure. Only this part. Only this you need to draw. Across drain 1 and ground, we have CDB1. So if you look through this terminal, we are having a resistance called RD1. So RD1 is the equivalent resistance that is being obtained after looking through CDB1, and the same resistance is applicable for which is other resistance? CGS2, right? CGS2. So for both CDB1 and CGS2, it will seize this resistance RD1. So this is the equivalent resistance obtained after looking through the combination of CDB1 and CGS2 that are parallel to each other. So let me put this as equation number. Okay. Now we have completed 3 capacitors, right? 4 capacitors, isn't it? We have finished CGS1, we have finished CDB1, CGD1, and CGS2. Now, next case, coming to these 2 cases, if you see CGD2, one end of CGD2 is connected to D2, the other end is grounded, right? Gate G2 is grounded. CL, one end is connected to the same terminal D2, other end is grounded. So it means both the terminals are shared. So CL and CGD2 are parallel. Please write CL and CGD2 are parallel because they have been sharing the same terminals. So the equivalent capacitance is nothing but the sum of CL and CGD2. Right? So if you see this CL and CGD2, what will be the resistance that you are seeing? You are seeing a physical resistance RL, that is fine. But apart from RL, you will have another resistance which is called output resistance of Q2. So I will take it as R out. Just like in the previous case, I have connected here RD1, isn't it? I have considered RD1 for Q1 connected between drain and source. Similarly, for Q2 also, we will have some output resistance. So that will appear parallel with RL. So whenever we are looking through the CL, we will have RL as a physical resistance. Parallel to that, we are also having R out. Therefore, the equivalent resistance looking through CL can be written as R out parallel RL. I'll come with this expression for R out later. Okay. As of now, you can put R out parallel RL. I will tell you what is the expression for R out. So put it as equation number D. Now we are going to combine all these results together. How we are going to combine? Just multiplying the resistance with the corresponding capacitance and submit. That will be your start multiplying each case. First, case A, that is the obtained resistance is R6. It should be multiplied with CGS1. So CGS1 into R6, that is the first term. Second term, CGD1 multiplied by the result, this is RGD1. RGD1 is RD1 plus 1 plus GMRD1, R6. Plus third term is CDB1 plus CGS2 into RD1. And fourth term is CL plus CGD2 into R out parallel RL. So we got the expression for time constant tau h after adding the individual time constants together. Now we are going to rearrange this above equation by taking R sig common, because R sig is common for the first 2 terms, right? For the first 2 terms, R sig is common. So let us take R sig common. So here you will have CGS1, whereas for the second term, it will be the CGD1, RD1 you can take along with some other terms. Okay. As of now, CGD1, RD1 you can take along with some other terms. So you just rearrange in this way. CGD1 into 1 plus GM1 RD1 into R6. From that you can take R6 common. So the remaining term will be CGD1 into 1 plus GM1 into RT1, right? Plus next term, if you combine the third term and the partial second term, because in this second term we are having one CGD1, or I mean RD1. That RD1 and this RD1 you can take common, right? So what will be the equation? It will become CGD1 plus CDB1 plus CGS2. Are you getting my point, students? What I have done is I have separated the second term into two separate terms such that I will take CGS1 outside for the first term and the partial second term. So this will be like this. RSIG will be common, not CGS1. RSIG will be common for the first term and the second term of this equation. And the first part of the second term I will combine with the third term. Again repeating, first part of the second term I am combining with the third term so that RD1 will be common. So if you take RD1 common, it will become CGD1 plus CDB1 plus CGS2 plus third term I will write it as such. Okay. So this is a big equation for finding tau h. Now applying special case to this equation, if I'm not connecting a signal resistance RSIG, if you see the circuit diagram, we'll have a signal resistance, right? The high frequency equivalent circuit. So if I'm discarding this RSIG, then it will have an impact over tau h. So this entire term will get cancelled because RSIG is not having that much effect on tau h, being it is a very small value. So I will neglect it after substituting RSIG is equal to 0. So what will be the equation? Your equation will consist of the second term and the third term alone. Please rewrite it. Is that clear, Nikita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So once you have done this, again, one small approximation. So this is the equation number 5, which you have obtained for tau h after neglecting the first term. How I have neglected the first term when RSIG is equal to 0. Again, I'm approximating the same equation by keeping RL dominant. I'm keeping a high value of RL so as to improvise my gain. Okay. So this will be negligible. Since RD1 is an internal resistance of Q1, that is going to be have very less impact. So this can also be neglected. So finally, I'll come up with the third term alone. So third term is the dominant term, whereas the remaining terms can be negligible for a cascade amplifier. So this is dominant. Second term having RL will be dominant. So that will be our equation for tau h, and based upon that we will go for FH. So write it, tau h is equal to CL plus CGD2 multiplied by R out parallel RL. So this is the approximation that I have taken. That is, if I am taking a large value of RL when compared to RT1, this will be neglected. Based upon this obtained value of tau h, I can finalize my equation of FH. You know the equation between tau h and FH, it is 1 by 2 pi tau h. Just substitute this equation over here and finalize the result. So in this, the only term that you need to do is, or need to find is R out, because all the other terms will be given to your question explicitly, CL, CG to RL and all. But I have written it in the terms of R out. Now write the expression for R out. R out is A naught into R naught 1. R out is equal to A naught into R naught 1. I'll come to this point. Now you can write the equation R out is equal to A naught into R naught 1. So this finishes our derivation. Okay. Now Along with R01, if we are writing, incorporating the result of RL. Okay, so it will become A0 into R01 parallel RL. This is the output resistance excluding RL. But if you are connecting the load resistance, R out is written as A0 into R01 parallel RL. That will be represented as RL dash. So R out is A0 into R01 parallel RL. A0 is common. A0 is constant. So R01 parallel RL is RL dash. Instead of R out, I am putting R01 and A0 is constant. So R01 parallel RL can be written as RL dash. So this is your final expression for your reference. What do you mean by A0? A0 is gain of CG. A0 is the intrinsic gain of common gate. CG means it is not the capacitance CG, it is common gate configuration. You know that in cascode we are having two stages, CG and CS. So CG is the cascaded stage whose gain is A0. So the effect on output resistance I'll tell, then you will understand this. See, suppose we are having an output resistance small letter R0 for Q1, then the output resistance of the overall circuit is nothing but A0 into output resistance of Q1. That is a specialty of cascode because we are expecting A0 times increase in gain, isn't it? Output voltage is increased by A0 times if you are cascading CG with CS. So the same factor will be affected on output resistance also. So output resistance of the overall amplifier is increased by how many times? A0 times. If we are taking CS alone, its output resistance is small letter R0. But once you cascade the CG over CS, the output resistance will also increase by the same amount. So it is A0 into R0. That is why I have put R out is equal to A0 into R out is equal to where? R out is equal to, yes, A0 into R01, right? So whatever the increment in the gain that you are observing, the same effect is observed in output resistance of a cascode amplifier also. You should know what is the difference between R01 and R out. R01 is just the output resistance of CS alone. R out is the overall output resistance after connecting CG with the CS. Okay, then the resistance will increase by how many times? A0 times. Why I have introduced this term here? Because voltage is also increasing by the same amount. Voltage is increasing by the same amount. So the resistance will also increase by same amount, right? V is equal to I into R. If I is constant, if V is increased by 2 times means R will also increase by the same amount. That concept we have used here. So R out can be determined as A0 into R01, where A0 is the gain of CG configuration, intrinsic gain of common gate amplifier. And this will be a constant. You can substitute over here. So A0 will be constant. So if R01 is parallel to RL, I can put it in a simple manner just by using this particular notation RL dash. So this is the equation for cutoff frequency FH. Okay, that is all for today. So kindly go through this derivation and then you come attend the next class on Monday. Okay. So meanwhile, all the best for your LAUS preparation. I hope you are going through all the materials that are posted in the, see, many materials have been already posted in the HRD portal. You go through those things. Okay. C, C++, Java and all. Go through that. As of now, you just prepare with C, C++ and you will come to know what type of question there in your, for today's assessment. Anyway, today and tomorrow it is mock test only, right? On Saturday, you will be having the test through which you will be shortlisted to appear for the LAUS process. Okay, so you'll come to know what is the test pattern and accordingly you have to prepare. Don't miss the chance. It is 19.5 lakh package. I think that will be the maximum package for you. Okay, all the best. Thank you.